You know, when you think of ancient Athens, your mind probably jumps straight to democracy, philosophy, all the big ideas, right? The birthplace of Western civilization. But what if I told you that beneath those very same stones, there's another story, a much darker one, a 2,000-year-old mystery that's only just been cracked? Today, we're going to dive into the two very different stories of the Athenian Agora.
So here it is, the ancient Agora of Athens. I mean, just look at it. For centuries, this place was everything. It was the absolute beating heart of the city. Think of it like a giant open-air town square where absolutely anything could happen. You'd have politics going on over here, people shopping over there, philosophers arguing on a corner. It was the hub for, well, for life itself.
Right, so what if these stones could talk? Well, they'd tell you two completely different tales. The first one, that's the one we've all heard about in history class, right? The glorious story of democracy being born. But the second story, that one was buried, literally, hidden for thousands of years at the bottom of a well. And it's a story about something much more personal, tragedy, grief, and a real human mystery.
Okay, so, the heart of a city. To really get what's going on here, we've got to wrap our heads around just how important the Agora was. I mean, it wasn't just a place, it was the place. The whole ecosystem of Athens revolved around it.
So what exactly is an agora? Well, the word literally means a gathering place. And boy, did they gather. This is where you'd find Socrates annoying people with questions, merchants yelling about their prices, politicians drafting laws. It was the engine room for all things social, political, and commercial in Athens.
And check out this map. It really shows you just how central it was. See it there? Tucked right in, northwest of the Acropolis. All the main roads led here. It was the literal crossroads of the city. If you were an Athenian citizen, your public life happened in the Agora. Period.
All right, let's get into the good stuff. Democracy's workshop. Because this was the stage for one of the most radical political experiments in human history. It was way more than just a market. It was a full-blown laboratory for this wild new idea, democracy.
This is so cool. On the left, that's what you'll see if you visit today. But on the right, that's what it used to be. And those aren't just pretty buildings. Those foundations, those pillars, that was the actual hardware for the world's first democracy. This was the command center where rule by the people went from being an idea to being a reality.
Let's zoom in on a few of these. You had the Bouleuterion. That's where a 500-person council would actually write the laws. Then there's the Tholos. Think of it as a 24/7 city hall. Somebody was always on duty. The law courts, that's where huge juries of regular citizens decided cases. And the Strategion was where the elected generals met. See? The government wasn't some far-off thing. It was right there, in the middle of everything, built right into the city.
Yeah, and this quote just nails it. It says the government was by the people to a far greater extent than is possible today. And that's the key, right? Their democracy was direct. You didn't just vote for someone to go do the work. You were the government. You served on juries, you helped write laws, you held office. It was a level of participation that is kind of mind-blowing to think about now.
So you're probably wondering, how on earth did they pull this off? It sounds like chaos. Well, they had some seriously clever and surprisingly simple tools to make it all run.
Okay, this is my absolute favorite part. Have you ever wished you could just vote a politician off the island? Well, the Athenians actually did it. If a leader got too big for their britches, citizens could vote to kick him out of the city for 10 years. And their ballot? A broken piece of pottery called an ostraton. You just scratch the name on it and toss it in. What you're looking at are real votes cast against some of the biggest names in Athens. How's that for accountability?
And what about keeping things fair in court? They had a gadget for that too. It's a water clock called a clepsydra. Super simple idea. You fill up the top part with water, pull the plug, and your time to speak starts. When the water runs out, you're done. They'd even use more water for more serious cases. It was a brilliant, low-tech way to make sure everyone got a fair shot to speak their piece.
But this might be the most ingenious thing of all. How do you pick people for juries or for office randomly without any corruption? You build this thing, a claritarian. It's basically a randomization machine. Citizens would pop their little bronze ID cards into the slots. Then they'd release some colored balls down a tube. If a white ball landed by your row, congrats, you're on the jury. If it was a black ball, better luck next time. It's an amazing piece of tech designed to make sure power was truly random and in the hands of the people.
Okay, so that's story number one, the grand, public, political story of the Agora. But now, we're going to change gears completely. We're leaving the bright, sunny town square and going somewhere dark. We're going down a well to uncover a story that was buried for a reason.
It's 1938. Archaeologists are digging in the Agora, and they find a well. No big deal, right? They're everywhere. It's full of the usual stuff. Broken pottery, dirt. But as they kept digging, they realized something was very, very wrong. What they found down there was deeply unsettling. It was bones, tons of them. And when the analysis came back, the truth was just gut-wrenching. The remains of about 460 newborn babies, all of them placed in this one well thousands of years ago.
So for decades, this was just a horrifying mystery. What happened here? The first guess was some kind of catastrophe, a plague, a siege, something that killed a lot of people at once. But the evidence, it just didn't add up. So this tragic cold case sat unsolved for almost 80 years. That is, until a new team came in with modern science to take another look.
And what they discovered completely flipped the story. This wasn't a mass murder. The new analysis showed that most of the babies died of natural causes right around birth, which, as heartbreaking as it is, was incredibly common back then. There was an even mix of boys and girls, so it wasn't systematic infanticide. And they even found bits of pottery that might have been used as tiny makeshift coffins. On top of all that, they found the remains of over 150 dogs, which points to some kind of purification ritual.
So as this paraphrase of the analysis says, it wasn't a site of horror. It was something else entirely. The well wasn't a garbage dump. It was a burial site, a special place, maybe used by midwives for babies who passed away before they were even really part of the community. It's not a story of cruelty. It's a story of how a community dealt with an unimaginable but constant amount of grief.
So here we are, a tale of two agoras, two stories, happening in the exact same place, but they could not be more different. One is all about big public ideas, and the other is about the most private sorrow imaginable.
And this really lays it all out. On one side, you've got the Agora of Ideals. This is the place of politics, law, justice, big achievements. But on the other side, you have the Agora of Realities, the story from the well. This is about family, grief, the harsh reality of infant mortality, personal tragedy. And the craziest part? Both of these things were happening at the same time, in the same place. And really, that's the whole point. The Agora was this incredible stage for one of humanity's greatest ideas, democracy. But at the same time, it was a quiet place to lay to rest the community's most profound sorrows. You can't have one without the other. To really understand ancient Athens, you have to see both sides of the coin.
So, I'll leave you with this question to chew on. We celebrate Athens for all its grand achievements, and we should. But how does it change how we see those achievements when we remember the silent, personal tragedies that were happening right alongside them? It makes you think, doesn't it?